English Easy Podcast.
Hello, learners. Welcome back to English Easy Podcast, your partner to learning English. Imagine walking into a really high-stakes job interview.
Oh, those are the worst. High pressure.
Right. So you sit down, you make confident eye contact, and you deliver this flawless, articulate summary of your professional skills.
Sounds great so far.
Yeah, but then you accidentally tell the hiring manager that you are a fundamentally dull, uninteresting person who just drains the life out of every room you enter.
Oh, no. That's not getting you the job.
Oh, you basically tell him you are a social nightmare.
And, the worst part is the interviewer probably won't even correct you.
Exactly. They won't say a word.
They'll just smile politely.
Yeah.
Mentally cross your name off their list and move on to the next candidate.
Okay.
And it happens every single day, all because of one tiny misplaced suffix at the end of a word.
It's the ultimate trap for intermediate learners. Because, you already know your way around the language.
Yeah, you're holding conversations, you're running meetings, you're actually doing great.
Right. And because you communicate so effectively, native speakers just stop correcting your minor errors.
Which is polite of them. I mean, they focus on your overall meaning.
But it unknowingly reinforces those bad habits. You walk away thinking, well, they understood me, so I must have nailed it.
Exactly. And so our mission today for this deep dive is to basically break that cycle.
Yes. We are looking at a carefully curated collection of the most deeply ingrained grammar mistakes that learners make on a daily basis.
But, and this is important, we are throwing out the heavy grammar tables.
Oh, please do. Nobody wants those.
Right. Memorizing charts just doesn't work when you're in the middle of a fast-paced conversation. Instead, we're building a self-correction strategy.
So you can learn independently without needing a teacher just hovering over your shoulder constantly.
Exactly. We're going to explore the actual mechanics of why English works the way it does.
I always like to think of these ingrained mistakes like a slightly misaligned steering wheel in a car.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah, you're still driving down the road and you're definitely getting to your destination.
But you're kind of fighting the car the whole time.
Right. You're constantly gripping the wheel tight, overcompensating just to keep the car in the correct lane.
It's exhausting.
It is. So we aren't here to rebuild your entire engine. You already have a great engine. We just need to make a few targeted, really precise adjustments.
And once you make them, you drive straight, and speaking just starts to feel effortless.
So let's make that first adjustment right now.
Let's do it. It involves something we'll call the direct attachment instinct.
The direct attachment instinct.
Yeah. This is a massive roadblock caused by your native language, especially, if you speak a Romance language.
Ah, yeah. Spanish, French, Italian.
Exactly. It happens with verbs where you instinctively want to attach a person directly to the action.
Oh, I see this constantly. With words like explain, describe, say, suggest.
Yes. A learner will just confidently say, explain me the problem, or describe me the situation.
Which, I get why they do it, but it completely breaks the logic of how English handles the transfer of information.
It really does. English is a heavily directional language.
Yeah.
You always have to look at where the action is actually going.
Right.
You cannot physically explain a human being. The action of explaining is happening to the information itself.
Okay, I'm going to push back here for a second, though.
Sure, go ahead.
Why is English so stubborn about this? Honestly, it feels so much faster and more efficient just to say, explain me. It gets straight to the point.
It is faster, yeah.
So why do we need the extra preposition? Why do we have to say, explain the problem to me?
Because you need a bridge.
A bridge?
Yeah, think of the information like the problem you're explaining as physical cargo.
Okay, cargo.
You are trying to deliver this cargo to a destination, which is the person you're talking to. The word to functions as the bridge that carries the cargo over.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Without the bridge, the cargo just falls in the water.
That makes so much sense.
And the same goes for describing something. You don't describe a person unless, you're a police sketch artist. You describe the situation to the person.
Cargo and a bridge. That completely shifts how I picture the whole sentence.
It helps, right?
But what about say and tell? Because this trips up so many people. Why can I say tell me, but I can't say me?
This is a fantastic quirk of English. Tell inherently means giving information to a person.
So the bridge is already there?
Exactly. The bridge is built right into the definition of the word. But say doesn't have that built-in bridge.
So what is say doing?
Say is just projecting words into the air. So there's a golden rule here. You say the words, but you tell the person.
Okay, let's test that out. If the words are goodbye, it's she said goodbye.
Perfect. But if you include the destination, the person actually receiving the goodbye, it changes.
Right. Then it's, she told me goodbye.
Yes. Or if you really, really want to use say, you have to physically build that bridge yourself.
She said goodbye to me.
Exactly. You can never, ever just use she said me.
And then there's suggest, which is just, it's completely stubborn. You can't say, she suggested me to go.
Oh no. Suggest outright refuses to take a person directly. It demands distance.
So how do you fix it?
You have to use the word that or like an ing word. So she suggested that I go, or she suggested going.
We need to make this physical for you, the listener. Wherever you are right now, we're going to do a quick pronunciation practice to just, build some muscle memory.
Highly recommend this.
Yeah, a lot of times learners skip the word to simply because their mouth isn't used to making that shape in that specific part of the sentence.
Very true.
So I want you to say this out loud with us, and I want you to put heavy, exaggerated emphasis on the bridge. Ready? Explain the problem to me.
Nice. Let's try another one. Really feel how your tongue hits the roof of your mouth on that T sound. Ready? Describe the situation to me.
Doing that physically forces your brain to acknowledge the bridge. If you don't use it, your mouth will actually start to feel like something is missing.
That's the goal. Muscle memory.
Now, this instinct we have to overcomplicate things with direct attachments, it bleeds right into our next bad habit. I call it oververbing.
Oververbing. Yeah, where we throw in extra, completely unnecessary helping words.
Yes. This is incredibly common in professional settings. You'll hear these brilliant professionals say things like, I am agree, I am understand, or I am disagree.
Which is fascinating because agree and understand are already fully functioning verbs.
They're perfectly capable of standing on their own 2 feet.
Right. They do not need am, is, or are to prop them up.
Not at all.
Adding am before agree is kind of like wearing a belt and suspenders at the exact same time.
That's a great visual.
Right. The verb is already doing the work of holding your pants up. You don't need both.
I love that. And this habit of choosing the wrong action word brings us to the classic make versus do struggle.
Oh, yes. Specifically doing a mistake.
Right. Why is that wrong?
Because English treats mistakes as a physical creation. Think about tasks you do. You do laundry, you do the dishes, you do your homework.
So routine actions, chores.
Exactly. But when you make something, you are creating something new that literally didn't exist before. You make a cake. You make a mess.
And yes, you make a mistake.
You are creating an error. Therefore, mistakes are always made, they're never done.
Let's pause and throw a quick quiz your way, listeners, to see if this is clicking.
A little pop quiz. Let's do it.
Imagine a colleague asks if you fully comprehend a brand new company policy, and you want to tell them yes, enthusiastically. Which of these is the correct way to respond? Option A, I am completely agree, or option B, I completely agree.
Give me a second.
Right.
If you remember the belt and suspenders, you chose option B. I completely agree. The am just gets in the way.
Let's role play this. Picture us in an office right now. I'm training you on a confusing new software platform.
Okay, I'm the trainee.
I say, so when you enter the client data, you actually have to click save twice, otherwise it deletes everything. Does that make sense?
And I'd reply, I say, I actually made a mistake with that yesterday, but I understand the new system now. I completely agree that the double save feature is important.
Notice how crisp and authoritative that sounds.
Yeah, no clunky extra verbs.
Now, let's raise the stakes. Let's do a formal job interview simulation.
Okay, higher pressure.
Imagine I'm interviewing you for a senior management position. I lean across the desk and ask, tell me about a time you failed at a major task.
In my last role, I made a mistake on a quarterly client report. However, I understand the importance of extreme accountability, so I immediately called the client to correct it. I agree with your company's policy of total transparent communication.
You're hired.
Thank you.
It's clean, confident, and grammatically bulletproof. But keeping with this office scenario, let's say you're exhausted from all this training and interviewing.
Definitely.
This brings us right back to our opening hook. How do you describe the result of all this hard work on your mood?
This is where that tiny suffix changes your entire identity, the dreaded ate versus gate identity crisis.
Yes. The classic mistake is sitting at your desk sighing and saying, I am boring.
When what you really mean is you have no energy, or you just have nothing to do.
Right. But remember the hiring manager from the beginning of our deep dive.
Yeah, if you say, I am boring, you are officially declaring that you are a dull person who drains the joy out of the room.
Let's give you a mature way to visualize why this happens, rather than just memorizing a rule.
Okay, what's the visual?
Think of the ing word as a radiator in a cold room.
A radiator, got it.
The radiator is emitting the heat. Now, picture yourself standing next to it, warming your hands. You are receiving the heat.
Okay.
The ing is the radiator emitting the feeling. The ed is you receiving it.
That's a really great mechanical way to look at it. So a movie is the radiator. It is boring. It's emitting boredom into the room.
Right.
You sit in the theater, you receive that boredom, and therefore you become bored.
Or like the situation is tiring, it's emitting the exhaustion, therefore I am tired.
Exactly. So if you say, I am boring, you're literally telling the native speaker that you are the radiator.
You are emitting boredom onto everyone around you.
Right. It completely misrepresents who you are just because you used an ing instead of an ed.
Nobody wants to be the boring radiator.
Definitely not.
Now, what happens when we need to talk about how long we've been sitting next to that radiator?
Time.
Yes. Describing time and duration is where the rules just seem to crash into each other for learners.
Time is notoriously tricky. And the most common trap learners fall into is confusing since and for. You'll hear someone say, I have lived in this city since 3 years.
Which sounds completely logical in French or Spanish.
It does. But English draws a really hard line between a duration of time and a starting point in time.
So how do we split them up?
You use for when you were talking about a duration, like a length or block of time. For 3 years, for 10 minutes, for a decade.
A block of time. Okay.
Yeah. And you only use since when you are pointing to a specific singular starting point on a calendar or a clock. Since 2021, since Tuesday, since 8 a.m.
So saying since 3 years is actually a grammatical impossibility because 3 years is a block of time, not a starting point.
Exactly. And this confusion creates an even bigger mess when we try to talk about something we're doing right now.
Oh, like when a learner says, I am waiting since 1 hour.
Yes. There are actually two massive collisions happening in that tiny sentence.
What's the first one?
Well, first, as we discovered, 1 hour is a block of time, so it has to be for 1 hour.
Right.
But the deeper issue is the verb itself. If you say, I am waiting, you are only talking about this exact second. It has absolutely no connection to the past.
But if I've been sitting there for an hour...
Right. Your action started in the past and is still happening right now. You need a grammatical bridge to connect the past to the present.
Like a bridge tense.
Yes. You can't just use am. You need the structure that acknowledges the whole journey. I have been. So the corrected sentence is, I have been waiting for 1 hour. It honors the past hour of waiting and the present moment of still waiting.
I have been waiting for 1 hour. Speaking of time and the past, this naturally leads us to the way we talk about age.
Oh, this is a big one.
Why do speakers of Romance languages constantly say, I have 20 years, instead of I am 20 years old?
This is such a fascinating philosophical difference between languages.
Really? Philosophical?
Yeah. In many cultures, age is treated linguistically as a possession. It's like a collection of years that you have acquired, packed into a bag, and are carrying around with you.
Wow, okay.
So I have 20 years. Makes perfect logical sense in that framework. You acquired them.
But English views age as a state of being.
Exactly.
You don't possess the years in a bag. Your entire physical and mental being has transformed into a 20-year-old version of yourself. The years define your current state.
It was beautifully put. And that's why we use the to be verb. I am 20 years old. You're your age. You don't own it.
And this philosophical concept, states of being versus possession, it actually extends far beyond just age.
It does. It dictates the invisible rules for how we relate to other human beings.
Let's talk about relationship prepositions then, because the most glaring trap learners fall into here is saying they are married with someone.
Yes. And again, if you translate it directly from other languages, it makes perfect sense. You are doing an activity alongside another person.
Right. Like if I say, I am walking with my wife, it means we are side by side doing the same thing. So why is married with wrong?
Because English doesn't view marriage or deep relationships as just an activity you do side by side.
How does it view them?
It views them as a directional attachment, a bond. Think of tying a boat to a dock.
Okay, a boat and a dock.
You don't tie the boat with a dock, you tie the boat to the dock.
Yeah.
You are securely attached, therefore you are married to someone.
Yeah.
You are engaged to someone. You are related to someone.
The boat and the dock. That makes so much more sense than just memorizing a random list of prepositions.
Visuals always help.
Let's hear how all these adjustments sound in casual, rapid-fire conversation.
Let's do a role play.
Yeah, imagine we haven't seen each other in a while, and we just run into each other at a coffee shop.
Okay, setting the scene.
Hey, I haven't seen you around lately. Have you talked to Marco recently?
No, I haven't spoken to him for weeks. What's going on with him?
He actually got engaged to Sophia.
Wow. I completely agree they're perfect for each other. How long have they been dating?
They have been together for 3 years. The wedding is next summer.
That is so exciting. I am so happy for them.
All right, listeners, did you catch those adjustments? We had, for weeks, a duration.
Engaged to the boat tied to the dock.
Completely agree. No extra am.
And have been together for 3 years, using the bridge tense with a block of time.
It just flows effortlessly.
It really does. But, how do you, the learner, achieve that effortless flow on your own? Because you can't hire a teacher to follow you around the coffee shop correcting your prepositions.
That would be a little awkward.
Very awkward.
So you need a daily self-correction strategy. You need to become your own editor. How do we do that without feeling completely overwhelmed?
By using active listening combined with a really simple daily checklist.
Active listening.
Yeah. When you are consuming English media, whether it's a deep dive like this, a Netflix show, or a YouTube video stop, just listening to the plot, train your brain to hunt for these specific structures in the wild.
Okay, so what should be on that mental checklist?
Keep it to 3 core questions.
Question 1.
First, is this person talking about a block of time or a starting point? Train your ear to listen for exactly how native speakers use for and since.
Okay, question 2.
Second, is this person emitting a feeling like a radiator or receiving it? Notice when they use id and dream.
And the third question.
Third, is information being transferred to a destination? Listen for that bridge word too, after verbs like explain or describe.
I love that. When you actively hunt for these patterns, you stop trying to invent the grammar from scratch in your head. You're just recalling the rhythm of how native speakers already talk.
And over time, the correct forms simply begin to feel right in your mouth. You won't have to calculate whether to say explain me or explain to me.
Right. Your brain will instinctively reject explain me because it will sound fundamentally jarring to your trained ear.
Exactly. Achieving great, natural-sounding English isn't about demanding immediate perfection from yourself.
Perfection is an illusion that just leads to frustration.
100%. It is about actively noticing these daily traps and making slight millimeter adjustments to your steering wheel to get just a tiny bit better every single time you speak.
The most effective method for self-guided study is exactly what we just did today.
Yeah, identify the specific interference from your native language, understand the actual logic of why English works the way it does, and observe those patterns in real life until they become second nature.
Which leaves me with a final, slightly provocative thought for you to ponder today.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
We just spent a lot of time talking about how your native language influences the mistakes you make. For example, treating age as a possession you carry around rather than a state of being you occupy.
Right.
If language fundamentally shapes how we express our reality, how might finally mastering these subtle English quirks actually change the way your brain processes the world?
Oh, wow. That's a deep rabbit hole.
Think about it. When you stop having your years in a bag and you start being your age, does your psychological perspective on getting older actually change?
That's profound.
Or when you view your relationships as a directional bond, like tying the boat to the dock rather than just walking alongside someone, does it change how you feel about commitment?
It really highlights that learning English isn't just about translating vocabulary. You're adopting a slightly different way of viewing time, feelings, and relationships.
Just a little something to chew on while you're making those minor adjustments to your steering wheel. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep listening actively, keep hunting for those patterns, and keep driving forward. We'll see you next time.